Om Swastiastu. My name is Catherine Wellen. I'm a historian of Indonesia and a yogini. This is a special Valentine's Day video about the 6 stages of love known as Sad Smara, about how they appear in romantic and erotic literature from Bali, and about longing. Many people have a love-hate relationship with Valentine's Day. For some, it's an opportunity to spoil their loved ones or themselves. For others, the commercialism and the sense of obligation are an aggravation. And for people without a romantic relationship, Valentine's Day can highlight what they don't have. For most of my life, I've fallen into this last category, and Valentine's Day has exacerbated my longing for strong arms and kind eyes. 2 years ago, however, I had a boyfriend. He had many qualities, but attentiveness was not one of them. Hoping to elicit his affection on Valentine's Day, I told him in advance that I had a sexy present for him and that it was particularly well suited for him. He looked surprised, perhaps even confused, as if the only sexy present he could imagine was women's lingerie. But it wasn't lingerie, and it wasn't a sex toy. It was a copy of this book, Jack Vettriano's Lovers and Other Strangers. He liked modern representational art, so Vettriano's right up his alley, and this book in particular is replete with pictures of lovers glancing longingly at each other. In the foreword to this book, Anthony Quinn writes, "Jack Vettriano has the ability to make you feel nostalgic for things you never actually experienced." Knowing what I wanted to experience, I picked out a page of this book, page 135, which is the picture of the man pushing the woman against the wall and kissing her. It's entitled Game On. I inscribed the book with a succinct but clear request for page 135. I thought it behooved me to be direct. Whether you love Valentine's Day or hate Valentine's Day, there's nothing worse than being disappointed when your unvoiced expectations are not met. It was easy for me to express my desire because I knew what I was longing for. Months later, I came across a text which describes a much more profound form of longing, a yogic longing. This was written by Wolfgang Weck, who was a medical doctor on Bali during the 1930s. He took an interest in erotic literature and wrote about 6 stages of love known as the Sad Smara. He bases this both on oral informants and on tutur, which are Old Javanese and Balinese texts with religious instructions, some of which deal with sexuality. How exactly he identified the 6 stages of love is uncertain. While similarities between what Weck describes and Balinese literature are clearly evident, scholars have not been able to identify the main text upon which Weck relied. Nevertheless, the Sad Smara constitutes a comprehensive methodology for seduction and lovemaking, a methodology in which longing plays a very large role. The first phase is called Aspara Sabda, or love talk. In this phase, the man is expected to woo the woman with beautiful words. His longing thereby evokes her longing. A poignant example comes from the Subhadrawiwaha, which reads, "My sweetheart, my goal is to praise you tirelessly until your reluctance fades." Another text, the Resi Sambina from Bali, is explicit about not criticizing the woman. Instead, he's supposed to praise her and think about the connection he desires. That makes sense to me. The second stage, asmarachitta, consists of a sort of yogic longing. The man must memorize his beloved's features so that he can focus upon them during meditation. Ideally, these thoughts will work as a sort of magic, drawing her close to him. Women can also long during this phase, and if they're sexually inexperienced, they can get so caught up in their longing that they're choked by lovesickness. Physical passion begins in phase 3, which is asmarachitta, meaning the love of the woman. This entails a strict regime of fondling and touching the woman, which is accompanied by appropriate sweet talk. If followed carefully, the woman's desire will become insatiable. However, it must be done skillfully. Certain Indonesian texts disparage men who caress women's bodies in clumsy ways. The Resi Sambina bungaya says that a river runs through a woman's body, and if caressed with a finger, it elicits delight. Only ignorant people do not know about this river, and those who are told but fail to understand are stupid. Telling them is like filling a broken clay pot with water. Phase 4 is perhaps the most yogic. It is called asmarachitta, meaning creating love. It entails visualizing and meditating upon one's beloved for the purpose of creating emotional attachment and physically drawing one's beloved closer through thought transfer. To illustrate this, I found a picture of Arjuna meditating while nymphs test his steadfastness. The duration of these meditations is determined according to the characteristics of one's beloved. If a man wishes to seduce a woman with fair skin, he must meditate for 3 days. If the object of his desire has neither fair skin nor dark skin, then he must meditate for 7 days. And if his beloved has dark skin, then he must meditate for 40 days. Thus it appears that seducing a woman with dark skin may require more persistence than seducing a woman with fair skin. The next stage is called asmodagama, or correct behavior in love. In this phase, the man is expected to make love to the woman using the utmost skill, respect, and finesse. Weck does not go into detail about this phase, but he does mention some rather curiously named practices without actually describing them. These include frog climbing the banana tree and squirrel eating a nut. I don't know, but the details concerning asmodagama are found elsewhere. The Rahasiya Sanggama contains explicit instructions for sex and meditation, and the Smaratantra compares the relationship between lovers to the relationship between the human body and the universe. Such texts also contain mantras, diagrams, and visualizations for calling deities into the bodies of lovers. The final stage is asmuratantra. At this point, all 6 stages come together, resulting in sexual fulfillment. Weck is similarly reticent about what this stage entails. In contrast, this stage is of particular interest to Balinese poets, especially those who write a genre known as Kakawin. Some Kakawin poems not only describe passionate wedding nights, but also sexual yoga and the accompanying rituals. Kakawin poetry refers to doctrines of love like the Smaratantra and suggests that by following prescribed practices, lovers can become manifestations of Ratih and Kama, shown here in a drawing by I Ketut Gedé. The practices can bring lovers into union with the essence of gods. One of the most remarkable aspects of these 6 stages is their metaphysical element. Sexuality and spirituality are portrayed synergistically. Not only does meditation inspire lovemaking, but also longing for one's beloved adds new dimensions to meditation. Much of the burden is placed upon men, who are expected to memorize the details of their beloved for the purpose of focusing upon her during meditation or summoning her telepathically. Nevertheless, both men and women can participate actively in this emotional attachment. It suffices to see one's beloved reflected in the beauty of nature or poetry. The metaphysical or emotional element is especially apparent in the 2nd and 4th phases, during which one does not even need to be in the presence of one's beloved. According to Weck, asmarachitta is considered to be successful when the meditator visualizes himself making love to his beloved and thereby causes her to come to him or to weep uncontrollably if she's unable. Unfortunately, I did not enjoy this type of success. My version of love talk was to ask explicitly for what I wanted and offer a copy of Vettriano as a gift. I did not use mantras to summon my boyfriend. Instead, I used mantras to keep myself calm while waiting for him to call me. And while this man admitted that the book was the sexiest Valentine's Day gift he ever received, he never came even close to satisfying my longings. So I ended the relationship in early March. Perhaps next time I should follow the instructions for calling one's beloved found in the Smaratantra. Nurture strong thoughts, day and night. Never forget to invite. No matter where you are, call, invite. While eating, while drinking, while bathing, call, invite. While going to bed, call, invite togetherness. Thank you for watching. Matur Suksma.